I'm going to be doing a comedy for tonight. Comedy. Yeah. So, I don't know if you've ever watched one of those war movies, but something about those movies that doesn't, sit right with me. Sometimes I watch them and I'm so amazed and it's really cool and I think, oh man, this guy's gonna, kill the opposition and they're gonna go crazy and it's gonna be awesome. But there's one little thing, one little minor detail that just doesn't make me, really, hypnotized by how cool the character is or how awesome the graphics are. It's just one thing, and the one thing that doesn't seem very realistic to me.
Get on the train!
So you're sitting there watching it, right? And there's this guy, and there's this big scene, and these people are getting ready for battle, and they're itching to go. And this guy is riding on his horse, and he's making a speech, or he's walking, and he's making a speech. And he says this thing that gets them all pumped up to go to war. And then you're like, wow, that was inspiring. I would probably, if I was there, want to fight to the death as well. But there's one thing that I don't understand. What about the guys in the back? What about the guys in the back that are way in the back and can't hear him? I mean, I gotta imagine maybe there's a guy in the middle that's telling the guy that's way further back than that or whatever. But I'm thinking, that's got to be the worst game of telephone in the world, right? So, okay, so I'm going to set up this scene. I think it would go a little bit like this. We are going to fight to the death.
Tonight he has bad breath.
We're not going to see our families prepare to die.
We're going to see our families and we're all going to cry.
You will probably never see them again.
We're gonna see them again.
Do not expect to come back home.
We're all gonna go home.
Do not expect to see your family again.
There's a man named Jim.
We will fight until we die.
We're all gonna have pie.
We will probably be gravely injured.
We're gonna watch as told by Ginger.
But we will fight with honor.
We're gonna fly a kite with Connor.
We will fight until we cannot fight anymore.
We're gonna cook a wild boar.
You are my brothers, and we will be one today. We will be one, and we will be one big body, one big fat body of danger and scariness. And we will overcome our enemy, or we might not.
Someone's big, fat, and scary, and he wants to tie the knot with your mom.
You see, I'm just not convinced. How do you know what he's saying? How do you know you agree with him? What if they switch up tactics on you and you just don't know what's gonna happen and you guys end up dying? You know what else I don't get is how come when I do something good, I can't determine what snack I get? For example, if I do something good like save a cat out of a tree, how come people say kudos on you? Now, what if I'm allergic to chocolate? What if I don't like kudos? How come people can't say ginger snaps on you? Thanks for saving my cat. Or how come they can't say tuna fish sandwich, brother? Why can't, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? How come Wendy's doesn't serve breakfast? You know what also bothers me is there's people who are so impatient in the bathroom that even when I lock the door, they're still trying to wiggle it. The other day I went to the bathroom and it's locked, right? And people will just go in there without knocking. When did that rule, get expunged? I never heard about that. I wasn't in the memo. But I locked the door and I'm going and this guy's just trying to open the door and it's still not opening. That means that I'm probably in the bathroom. When people sing songs about songs, is the song that we're listening to the song, or is it the song that they're singing about? For instance, I love rock and roll, put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Are we listening to the song that the person put in the quarter or whatever, a dime, and now we're listening to it? Or what about Jukebox Hero? That song. Are we listening to that song? Is the rock and roll song the song that we're hearing, that he's singing about?
Yeah,
You know?
good point.
You know, I think about that stuff sometimes. You know, why doesn't Wendy's serve breakfast? Isn't it kind of weird that some little kids sound like British people when they're babies? Like, do we have it wrong? Like, people in Europe have it right where they just grew up talking like that, so now they sound normal, and we're just like, oh, we're separated from them, so we gotta be America. You gotta talk like us. You gotta pronounce your words right. Like, what kind of stuff is that? You know, like, well, how come we gotta make people talk the way that we want them to talk? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And seriously, like, why doesn't Wendy's serve breakfast?
Seriously.
You know what else I don't understand is fix-it tickets, because I got in trouble for not having something fixed, so now I gotta pay more money. That's gonna put me behind more, so that you can have money, so that I can, you know, get in trouble again, and then pay you again, and then not get what I had fixed. I don't understand what's going on here. Where's the knowledge behind this? I mean, I understand, you know, maybe if I had to work for it or something, or if I had, you know, like community service, but I can't give you more money so that I can fix what's broken that I couldn't fix in the first place because I didn't have the money. Who came up with, you know, paying tolls on bridges? Like, oh, you gotta pay to go across, it's my bridge. You know, like, it's not like we're going to a different state or a different country or anything. Like, why do we gotta pay? I don't understand. It's like, you guys are a bunch of trolls. You know, that's what we should call them. Bridge toll trolls is what we should call them. You know what I'm saying? BTT. Because that doesn't seem right to me. It just doesn't sit well with me. You know what I'm saying? Why doesn't Wendy's serve breakfast? You know, speaking of food, I'm not digging all these different companies selling like the wrong kind of food. Like, let me tell you something. It seemed with, you know, Jack in the Box serving tacos. But now you got hot dogs at Burger King. If I wanted a hot dog, I go to Wiener Schnitzel. Oh, but wait a minute. Wiener Schnitzel serving, you know, burritos now? Like, what is going on with these people? I don't know. At first, I had a problem with something that is in the education system, but I actually like it. It's called Common Core Math. Now, what you're doing is you're basically not learning how to just solve problems, but you're learning why it's solved that way. And I honestly think that we should do that with everything. Like, instead of us getting, you know, our groceries, going through the line and going home, what we should do is show up and put on the uniform and ring ourselves up and then go outside, and we have experience now why we're rung up the way we are and how it feels, you know, to be that person. And we should go in and we should, instead of being annoying to people in retail, you could just, you know, ring yourself up or complain to yourself or do something like that, you know. A Common Core is a beautiful thing. It should be called common society, you know, a common civilization, because people need to learn what it's like, you know, to be the problem solver instead of just being, you know, the person who is just taking everything for granted. You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about how interesting it is that somebody, you know, came out of nowhere and created all these names for money that had to do with food. Like, I'm going to go get some dough. I'm going to go get some bread. I'm going to go get some cheddar. I'm going to go get some lettuce. All of those have to do with money. Was that guy just really, really hungry? Or he looks at money and, oh man, all I can think about is sandwiches right now. Why does everything have to do with sandwiches? And really, I just think the guy was hungry. Why doesn't Wendy's serve breakfast?